Shalom Yasha'Allah is brother Mapathak. That'd be key, but in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And this is going to be a quick video going into the topic of reading, right? Which is going back to the basics, right? The milk. You have to read the scriptures, which sometimes it becomes hard to do. It's hard to be consistent with reading, because it's easy to it's easier, I should say, to sit back and watch videos, watch camp videos and things of that matter, and kind of just remember the precepts and remember how the teacher is interpreting the precept. But it's you have to still read for yourself, and actually get the context of what the scriptures are going into, right? Actually know what's going on in there, And before we go into it, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. And I want to give double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, starting with Elder Apostle Tahar on down. And I'm going to get this first, in Acts 17. Right, just to touch on the point that I was just going into. When you watch videos and things of that matter, you can learn precepts, and you learn how to break the precepts down. But you really have to still go into the book yourself and actually know what's going on, because when you just hear a precept coming out and you hear how the teacher break it down, and then you just take that and run with it, that's okay, but you don't really know the context of the chapter. You don't really have full understanding of what the precept is going into. So I'm gonna bring this out. Acts chapter 17 and verse 11, and it says, "These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so." So you still have to open up the book and search the scriptures. Isaiah the 34th chapter, that's what I was going to start off this video with. It tells you to seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. So we're literally commanded we're commanded to read the scriptures. So it says those in the church in Berea, they were more noble than those in Thessalonica because they actually searched the scriptures with a ready mind. They searched the scriptures daily. They didn't just hear what was being taught to them, and they just ran and reiterated it, or I should say regurgitated. They actually went into the scriptures and read and said, okay, I see what this is talking about. I have the understanding of what's going on in this context. You see, and that's actually super important. And you will realize, especially if you're a teacher of the word, the more you read and actually understand the things that you're going into in the context of the scriptures, you become better at elaborating, and ultimately you have more understanding of the scriptures. You see, because you can elaborate more because you know the different accounts. You can line up certain accounts with other accounts. You can just kind of just be more deep into this thing. You see, and just jot down the precepts and go regurgitate the precepts. I would know what that one precept is talking about, but I wouldn't really have a full understanding of what's going on in this context. And let's go to Isaiah 34 in verse 16. Right, it says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read." See that? That's plain. It says, "No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them." So that's plain. We're commanded to seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. And the scriptures also tell you that the scriptures tell you, "Blessed is he that readeth," in Revelation the 1st chapter. So it's gonna be a super quick video, but it's just important to read the scriptures, and actually know these different accounts. And so it says, "Blessed is he that readeth." This is Revelation 1 and 3, Salakia. "Blessed is he that readeth," right? So that's plain. You're blessed when you read the words of the Lord. It says, "And they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." So you're blessed when you read the scriptures, because the scriptures, you become confident in the things that you read. When you read these different accounts about our forefathers, you learn how to deal with certain situations. You learn what pleases the Lord and what makes the Lord angry. you know, and you ultimately just increase in understanding just by supping with the Lord. Because let's get this in Revelation, the 3rd chapter. And this is when Yahweh Shai is going to sup with you when you're sitting down and you're reading the scriptures. You know, it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. And when you're supping, what you're doing, you're eating. So you're at the table. And what is the Lord's table? It's this word, you know, wisdom. Salaki, I believe that's Proverbs 9 that I'm thinking about. That's what I want. It's Proverbs 9 and verse 1. It says, wisdom have builded her house, and she have hewn out her 7 pillars. She have killed her beasts. She have mingled her wine. She have also furnished her table. You see? So wisdom furnishes that table for you. So when you're sitting down at that table, you know, and this is all spiritual, you're eating up the words of the Lord, because the words of the Lord is likened unto bread. You know, it's likened unto wine. It's likened unto water. So when you're at that table, you're supping, you know, in the table being the words of the Lord. So when you're reading the scriptures, you're ultimately you're eating, you know, you're being fed spiritually. And I'm reading on. I'm gonna jump down to verse 5. It says, come and eat of my bread and drink of the wine which I have mingled. You see? So when you eating of the bread and the wine is likened unto reading the scriptures. You know, gaining understanding through reading. And when you're reading, you're supping with the Lord. So I want to go back to Revelation, the 3rd chapter. And verse 20. I'm going to read it again from the top. It says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. And what does the door represent? The door represents your mind. You know, so Yahweh Shai is knocking at your mind. The spirit is trying to enter into your tabernacle, which is your body. And it says, and if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. You know, and that's when you're supping with the Lord, when you're getting into the scriptures, when you have your face in the book, when you're reading. And that's going to that word sup. It gets pretty deep. And we went into this in the last camp. I actually brought this out. But I want to go into this word. This word sup is
Strong's G 1172, Dipneo. Dipneo.
So the word sup in the Greek is dipneo, right? Now check this out. This is where it gets deep. We're going to go to the Thayer's Greek lexicon and show what this word is going into, right? It says, check this out. This is what the Lord is talking about when he says he's going to sup with you. It says, I will make him to share in my most intimate and blissful intercourse. You see? That's heavy. And check this out. So now the Lord is going to share his most intimate thoughts with you. You know, his most intimate, his most intimate thoughts. But I want to, this is what Yahweh Shai is talking about. Sharing intimate thoughts. Let's see if we can get like what that means. What does it mean to be intimate with someone? It says intimacy in a relationship is a feeling of being close and emotionally connected and supported. And what happens when you're close with someone and they're being intimate with you, right? This is on a spiritual level, you know, but you have to also understand on a spiritual level, we are the wives of Yahweh Shai, you know? So when someone is having an intimate conversation with their spouse or their loved one, that means they're sharing their most deepest, darkest secrets with them. You know, the things that they won't usually tell anybody else, they're sharing it with their spouse, you know? And let me see if I could intimate thoughts. Now check this out, right? It says intimate thoughts. It says let me see. Salakia Khan. If you have an intimate friendship with someone, you know them very well and like them a lot, right? And it's something else I'm looking for. I came across it the other day. Sharing It says one journal defined emotional intimacy as involving a perception of closeness to another that allows sharing of personal feelings. You see, so when the Lord is supping with you while you're reading, He might the Spirit might give you understanding of things deeper, or a deeper understanding of something that you couldn't see before, right? You probably read a chapter, and you had some understanding of it, but now you continue to read. Now you read this chapter again, and the Lord is going to share with you and give you a deeper understanding of what you're reading. Now you're like, damn, when I read it before, I didn't see it like this. You know, now you've seen it on many different levels. So it says a perception of closeness to another that allows sharing of personal feelings, accompanied by expectations of understanding. See that? Affirmation and demonstrations of caring. What does it mean to share intimacy? Right? I'm pretty sure we went into that one already. But the point is, when the Lord is saying He's supping with you, He's gonna I'm gonna go back and read it in the blue letter. It says, I will make him to share in my most intimate and blissful intercourse. You see, and it's all spiritual, right? Don't be carnally minded, but it means, hey, the Lord is gonna just reveal deeper things unto you. You know, you're gonna become one with the Lord. You know, and the brother Jeremiah that I labor with, he made a beautiful point. He said, even on the physical level, when you have, when you're sharing intimacy, you know, when you're when you lay down with your loved one, she becomes more like you. And us spiritually being the wife of the Lord, that's what happens when the Lord sups with us. You know, we start to get a deeper understanding of the scriptures, right? So meaning you become more wise, and you start to become more like Yahweh Shai. And that's ultimately the point of the ministry, is to become like Yahweh Shai. And I don't want to go too deep into this, right? But Lord willing, through the Spirit, I could do a lesson just dealing with Revelation 3:20 and dealing with this definition, right? Because this is actually deep. And we kind of went into it in our last camp video. But the point is that I wanted to mainly touch on is you have to read. And that's ultimately how the Lord is going to sup with you. And the Spirit is going to give you more understanding when you're actually in the scriptures and you're actually reading. You know, that's how you sup with the Lord. Because when you're reading, you're literally, it's a feast. You know, you're eating of the word. You know? And that's pretty much what I wanted to go into. Right, it's super important to read, because sometimes you can get caught up in watching the videos. You can get caught up in, just watching the videos, taking notes and things of that matter. You know, and you be like, man, I don't really feel like reading, but I'm gonna just do this. But you have to understand how important it is to read. Reading is ultimately how you're gonna really gain that faith and gain that understanding. You know, through reading these accounts, right? Because the Lord said this in Romans the 15th chapter. In verse 4, it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So these accounts were written for our learning. You know, it says that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And through patience and comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope. You know, and in Romans the 10th chapter, it tells us that the hearing of the word, I'm not going to get it, but it tells you that the hearing of the word is what increases your faith, roughly paraphrasing. You know, so the more you're constantly reading, you're hearing this word, is going to increase your faith. You know, but hey, it's important to read, you know, just as important as it is to watch the videos and have these things broken down to you. It's just as important to read. And Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, brothers and sisters got the understanding thereof. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and Shalom, Yasha Allah.